Well, we are full swing into the flu season, and many people turn to the drugstore aisle to find anything and everything to try and help their symptoms. Dr. Shobha is here to talk about the effects on your health the over-the-counter cold and flu medications can have. Dr. Shobha, thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so we are hearing, some schools are closed because of the flu. Lots of people are being diagnosed with the flu. They're testing positive for the flu. And so people are just trying to either, one, stay healthy, stay away from those infected, or have it to just get better, right? And so they turn to these over-the-counter drugs, but they can really have a big effect on them, right?
That's right. I think, the key is what you mentioned is to try to keep away from the flu, because once you get it, it sort of takes your course. I mean, be sure you've had your flu shot and you're getting enough rest and everything. But you're right, people just tend to take over-the-counter medicine. You have achy kind of body aches, your nose is running, it's stopped up. So the first thing that you reach for is like ibuprofen over-the-counter, and then cough and cold medicines with decongestants in them, and nose sprays, because if you've already got nasal allergies and you got the flu, gosh, you're in deep trouble. So you're using more and more of your decongestant nasal sprays, and all of this can get you into a lot of trouble. Usually if you're underlying otherwise healthy, you're fine, but if you have high blood pressure or a heart condition underlying, it can get you into a lot of trouble.
Really? How so?
For example, all medications like ibuprofen, or what we call non-steroidals, they can make your blood pressure go up. So if you are already taking blood pressure medicine, they may not be as effective, especially when you take the non-steroidals, or if you take decongestants. They all work, like the decongestants, they work by constricting your blood vessels. So your nose is all inflamed and stopped up, it constricts the blood vessels. Well, unfortunately, it constricts blood vessels everywhere else, including in your heart, possibly in your peripheral circulation. So you start having chest pains and your blood pressure goes through the roof. Just the other day, I saw a lady who had a blood pressure of 190, and she'd been taking ibuprofen and all these decongestant medicines because she recently had the flu.
And you're taking these medicines because you want the immediate relief, but you don't realize how much of an effect it can have on you. And so the lingering problems that can happen as well, that is a big issue.
That's right. Even though the medication itself, for your nose, it just washes off in a few hours, but the effects of the high blood pressure and some of the other issues can last, for a few days later.
And so besides the flu over-the-counter medicines, but there's other medicines that can have an effect, right?
And I had this other gentleman who'd been having flu-like symptoms, and so he was having a lot of headaches with them, so he decided to take his migraine medicine on top of the ibuprofen, on top of the decongestant. He took his migraine medicine. Unfortunately, migraine medicine, some of them work the same way. They work by constricting your blood vessels. His blood pressure hit 200 on the top number. I mean, these are dangerous levels, because you can either have a stroke or heart attack, or you can go into a condition called atrial fibrillation.
And you don't want any of those, obviously.
No. Some weight loss medications, that people take, that can also affect your blood pressure. It's always important that when you take any over-the-counter medicine, you should check with the pharmacist. If it's safe for you, always place a call to your doctor. And be careful with some of these herbal preparations that you get, vitamins. They may have bunches of caffeine in them. They have these herbal preparations that can actually affect your blood pressure. So be very careful. They may say that it'll give you more energy, but it may actually make your blood pressure go up. So be very, very cautious with supplements.
And your advice was to call a doctor, talk to the pharmacist. And of course, what are some signs that people should look for if they're taking all these medicines and, maybe they're feeling the aches and pains of the flu, but what are some other signs that maybe can lead to them to want to call the doctor and be like, I think I might be having some high blood pressure issues?
Unfortunately, high blood pressure is called a silent killer, because, you never know when it's going up. People have headaches, but then you blame it all on the flu. You don't blame it, you don't even think that it could be that your blood pressure is very high. You just feel achy and tired, but then you again blame it on the flu. So unfortunately, some of the hidden heart trouble issues, you're coughing a lot, so you think you've just strained your heart, your chest muscles because you're coughing, and you ignore the fact that no, this could be an angina pain, this could be a heart attack pain. Even flu and infections can cause a higher incidence of heart disease and heart attack. So you have to be very, very careful. All the things that mimic the flu, you keep blaming on the flu, but could actually be signs of something more dangerous going on inside.
So just definitely keep yourself healthy, especially during this time, so then you don't even have to run into the issue of using those over-the-counter medicines.
Especially if you're planning a trip and a cruise that you just talked about. Please take your blood pressure medicines with you. Stay away from the flu.
Great advice. Dr. Shobha, as always, we appreciate you coming on. If you want some more information about the over-the-counter drugs and the relationships it has on your health, you can just go to heart.org for more information.